The wind carries whispers through the mist, whispers of names long forgotten, of oaths once sworn in blood. In the stillness of the highlands, something ancient stirs again. The ground remembers every tear that fell, every blade that struck for love or vengeance. Time, that cruel and tender keeper of fate, is turning its wheel once more, and this time, the past won't stay buried. The bloodline of Fraser and Mackenzie is awakening, and the secrets it holds could shatter everything. The morning rises cold over the moors, painting the hills in a soft gray light. The echoes of war have quieted, but the air is still heavy with memory. There's peace on the surface, yet something uneasy moves beneath it, like the tremor before a storm. The world of Outlander is caught between two centuries once again, where love dares to cross time and blood remembers what hearts have forgotten. A new chapter begins not with a cry, but with a whisper that travels through generations. Carrying the voices of those who once fought to hold their destiny in their own hands, Jamie Fraser stands at the edge of the dawn, his eyes haunted by all he has lost and all he still hopes to protect. His world has changed, but the echoes of his choices linger in every shadow. Behind every victory lies a scar, behind every promise, a secret yet untold. The blood that flows through his veins carries more than his name. It carries the burden of legacy, the ache of loyalty, and the curse of time itself. And somewhere far beyond his reach, another life beats in rhythm with his own. A bond not yet revealed but already written in the stars. The mist curls through the glens like a ghost, touching the stones that have stood through centuries of silence. Each one holds a story, a fragment of something forgotten. A woman's voice once whispered against the wind a promise to return, and though the years have passed, the air still remembers her. The stones hum with energy again, as if the past is waiting to be claimed, as if love is ready to test fate once more. This is not just the story of lovers lost in time. It is the story of bloodlines that defy the laws of history, of families bound by secrets that no century can contain. Somewhere, a candle flickers against the dark. A letter lies unopened, its seal marked with a name thought to be gone forever. The ink fades, but the truth inside still burns. The blood of the Frasers runs deep, and its path is not yet complete. There is something coming, something that will make the strongest hearts tremble, and the bravest souls question what they're willing to sacrifice. For in this world, love is not a blessing. It is a challenge, a trial. And those who carry its flame must walk through the fire of destiny itself. This new dawn brings with it not peace, but questions. Who truly holds power when time itself can be bent? What happens when love crosses generations? When blood remembers what hearts wish to forget? The answers lie beyond the veil of time, where the past and future meet in one fragile moment. And that moment is about to begin. The sky over the highlands bleeds into gold and crimson as the sun rises. Yet peace feels like an illusion, a fragile thread stretched too thin between centuries. In the silence, the wind carries a name. It drifts through the valley, brushing past the stones, slipping through the trees, whispering into the heart of the story once more. Fraser. That name, carved in the bones of history, will not fade. It's a name that carries both pride and pain, a name that has survived betrayal, war, and time itself. But as the new season begins, even the blood of a Fraser cannot escape the pull of fate. There's a sense of change, like the moment before thunder breaks. Somewhere, miles from Jamie's land, the candle of a new generation flickers to life. A child, grown now, carries a reflection of the past in their eyes. They have inherited not just a name, but questions about who they are and why destiny has chosen them. The echoes of their ancestors whisper through their dreams, urging them to find what was lost. But the truth waiting to be uncovered is not gentle. It is written in sacrifice, sealed with love, and bound by blood. Time has never been kind to those who tamper with its flow. For every moment gained, another must be lost. And now the wheel turns again. In a world caught between science and superstition, whispers of strange events stir in the Scottish hills, lights near the stones, voices calling through the wind, and the feeling that someone, or something, is trying to find a way back. The air hums with energy, familiar yet foreign. The same pulse that once called Claire through time beats again, but not for her. This time, it calls to someone new. As the sun climbs higher, the village begins to wake. Blacksmiths light their forges, traders open their stalls, and the sound of life fills the air. Yet beneath it all is an unease, an invisible hand that seems to tug at every heart. Old letters begin to resurface, maps with markings that don't belong to any known century, and symbols that speak of hidden bloodlines. It's as if the past is rewriting itself, thread by thread. Those who once thought the stones had fallen silent will soon learn they were only waiting, miles away. In another time, another century, a figure stands before a mirror, a reflection both familiar and foreign. Their face holds traces of a lineage they cannot name, and in their hands lies an heirloom older than memory itself. It glows faintly under the light, warm and alive, like it remembers the touch of its original owner. Every beat of their heart feels heavier, as if carrying the weight of untold generations. They don't yet know who they are, but soon they will have no choice but to find out. The past is coming for them, and with it, the truth. The story of Blood of My Blood is no longer about one love, one time, or one destiny. It's about what happens when the choices of the past begin to shape the present, when the ghosts of history reach through the centuries to demand justice or redemption. Every path leads back to the same truth, that love, in all its power and pain, never dies. It transforms, it waits. It returns. In the distance, the first storm of the season begins to form. The air thickens, the ground trembles, and thunder rumbles like the roar of something ancient waking from its slumber. Lightning flashes across the horizon, lighting the stones in a brilliant glow. For a moment, the world holds its breath, and then the light bends. The impossible happens again. The veil between times grows thin, and two worlds begin to bleed into one another. Something is coming through. Something that was never meant to cross. And as the winds rise and the stones hum louder, one truth becomes clear. The past is not finished. The bloodline of Fraser is about to face its reckoning. Love once changed time, now blood will. Night falls over the highlands like a secret. The world grows quiet, but the quiet is heavy, a silence that listens, a silence that remembers. The stars shimmer above, watching as if they to know the story unfolding below them. In the distance, the faint glow of a fire burns on the horizon, casting shadows that move like ghosts across the land. The wine carries the scent of rain and smoke, and somewhere deep in the valley, a heart beats faster, a rhythm that matches the pulse of the stones. Something has awakened, something old and hungry for answers. In a cottage on the edge of the moor, an old woman sits by the hearth, her eyes fixed on the flames. Her hands tremble as she turns the pages of a worn journal, its ink faded by time, its words written in both pain and love. She knows what these words mean. She has read them before, in another life. Every name, every promise, every confession in that book ties the present to the past like a thread that cannot be cut. The firelight flickers against her face, revealing the weight of generations in her gaze. Blood remembers, she whispers, even when hearts forget. Far from her cottage, the next generation stands on the brink of discovery. The heir to the Fraser bloodline, restless and uncertain, walks along a path that has been waiting for centuries. They can feel it, the pull of something unseen, a calling older than the hills themselves. Each step echoes like a heartbeat, guiding them toward the stones. The air grows colder as they approach, and the world seems to hold its breath. The surface of time feels thinner here, as if a single whisper could tear it open. And then, there it is, that faint vibration in the air, that humming song that once lured a healer named Claire across centuries. The sound rises again, soft at first, then stronger, wrapping itself around the traveler like an embrace. The stones begin to glow faintly, their light pulsing in rhythm with the blood in their veins. It's not a coincidence. It's inheritance. It's fate. The traveler steps closer, reaching out with trembling hands. For a heartbeat, the world folds, past, present, and future become one. In that moment, two souls separated by time can almost touch, but destiny is cruel. Just as the connection forms, a shadow breaks it, a figure watching from afar, cloaked in the darkness. Their eyes burn with knowledge and fear. They've seen what happens when time bends too far, when love defies the natural order. They've seen what it costs. The stones fall silent once more, their glow fading into the cold. The traveler stumbles back, breathless, confused, unaware that they've been seen, unaware that the past has eyes. Back in another century, Jamie feels a sudden chill, the kind that cuts through armor and bone. He looks toward the horizon, toward the same stones that changed his life once before. A memory flickers behind his eyes, Claire's hand slipping from his grasp, her voice carried away by the wind, the promise that she would find him again. For years, he's lived with the echo of that promise, not knowing that their bloodline would someday bear the same burden. He doesn't understand it yet, but the air itself seems to whisper, "It begins again." The night deepens, and rain begins to fall, slow, steady, relentless. It drums against rooftops, seeps into the earth, and washes over the stones that have stood as silent witnesses for centuries. Each drop seems to carry a message, a memory, a warning. Somewhere, a child wakes from a dream of fire and light, calling out a name they have never learned. In another time, a mother feels a sudden ache in her chest, as if she's missing someone she hasn't yet met. The connection between them is invisible but unbreakable. It defies the limits of life and death, of history and fate. It is the thread that binds every generation of Fraser blood, weaving their stories into one endless tapestry of love, loss, and return. But not all who carry this blood are bound by the same purpose. Some seek redemption, others seek power. And as the veil between times begins to thin once more, it becomes clear that this bloodline, sacred, cursed, and unstoppable, will either heal the fractures of time or destroy everything it touches. The night ends not with peace, but with a promise. A whisper carried by the wind, echoing across centuries. The blood remembers. And soon, so will you, dawn returns like a blade through the mist, cutting open the darkness that clings to the highlands. The storm from the night before has left the world drenched. The earth glistens, the trees drip with silver light, and the air tastes of renewal and ruin. Somewhere deep within the valley, the stones stand silent again, their glow gone, but their power far from spent. The wind has quieted, but its stillness carries weight. Every sound feels like an echo from another century, a memory repeating itself across time. The world seems caught between breaths, as if waiting for someone to make a choice that will change everything. The traveler wakes by the stones, soaked and trembling, the echoes of light still pulsing behind their eyes. What they saw, what they felt, cannot be explained by reason. The air still hums faintly around them, whispering words they don't understand, words that feel ancient and alive. They remember a face, just for a second, a man's face, proud and sorrowful, his eyes filled with recognition and loss. The image fades, but its warmth lingers like the memory of touch. They know now that they've seen into another time, another life, perhaps their own blood's reflection. And though fear curls in their chest, something stronger burns beneath it. Destiny far away. Across centuries, Jamie wakes with a start. His heart pounds as if pulled from sleep by a force beyond dreams. Outside his window, the dawn light stretches across the moor, cold and pale. He feels it again, that same presence that haunted him in youth, the same ripple in the air that came before every impossible thing. It's been years since he's heard the hum of the stones, yet now it beats faintly in his veins like a second pulse. He stands, breathless, sensing that his blood, his family's blood, has been stirred once more. Claire, he murmurs, though he doesn't know why. The name falls into the morning air like a prayer to time itself. The story has always been about love fierce and yielding love, but now love becomes something greater, something darker. It becomes a force that binds and breaks in equal measure. The past and the present begin to mirror one another, repeating choices, repeating losses. In every generation, the same question returns. What would you sacrifice to keep the ones you love? The traveler, unaware of the full truth, begins to dig deeper into old letters, maps, and journals. Their nights are filled with dreams, not of the future, but of centuries long gone. Faces they've never met call their name. Voices whisper secrets meant to stay buried. And every dawn brings a stronger pull toward the stones, as if the past is calling them home. The world around them starts to shift in strange, quiet ways. Shadows move differently. Time feels uneven. Moments repeat themselves, the same bird cry, the same drop of rain on the same leaf. Reality begins to fold. And somewhere, the stones start to hum again, faintly, like a heart remembering how to beat. The traveler isn't the only one who hears it this time. Others begin to notice. Scholars speak of strange readings near the standing circle. Locals whisper of ghosts walking under the moonlight. A storm is building, not of rain but of fate. The bloodline has been awakened, and it demands resolution. Meanwhile, the one watching from the shadows, the guardian of the old secret, begins to move. For centuries, they protected what the world was never meant to know, that the stones were not built to transport love or longing, but to preserve balance. Every crossing comes with a cost, and every act of defiance leaves a scar. They know that the bloodline has been crossing the boundaries for too long, and now the stones are weakening. Time itself begins to shiver. If the pattern continues, the veil will tear, and both centuries will collapse into one, the fracture no one can mend. The guardian's voice carries across the glen, though no one is there to hear it. Blood made the gate, they whisper. Blood will close it, and in that moment, everything begins to align. The traveler's visions, Jamie's unease, the pulse of the stones. The curse is not a punishment. It is a cycle. One generation opens the door, the next must seal it. The cost is always the same. A sacrifice born of love. Lightning splits the dawn sky once more. The stones begin to glow brighter, wilder, alive. The traveler steps forward, heart pounding, realizing that this is the choice their blood has carried for centuries. Behind them lies safety. Before them lies truth. They close their eyes and whisper the same words once spoken by a woman long ago, a woman who changed the course of time for love. If this is the price, let it be paid.